This week, we are talking about fasting. Today, I want to talk about the science behind fasting. What happens to the body during fasting? When we mentioned the benefits, we mentioned that there is something called autophagy, which is like Pac-Man, where we have these cells that come up and chomp on the damaged cells and removes them from the body. Damaged cells are cleared away, and when that happens, it also stimulates something called stem cell production. Stem cells are like the baby cells that help to regenerate and regrow things in our body. It's what gives us that fountain of youth. I also mentioned one of the benefits is hormone optimization. As we release stem cells, we also release growth hormone. Growth hormone is one of the things that helps us to look young again, feel healthy and young. Fasting also helps to support fat burning. We are managing and regulating insulin all day long, depending on whether we're using glucose or fat for fuel. Insulin is a hormone and it can help to balance some of that and optimize that. Another thing that happens with hormone optimization is that we are preserving muscle and we produce ketones. When we go into a fasted state, ketones are released because we do something called ketogenesis. When we release ketones, it is a really amazing fuel for our brain. Our brains love ketones. They use that to function. Our thinking is more clear, and we are able to make it through our day without brain fog. Fasting also promotes the gut microbiome to reset itself. It allows the lining of the gut to begin to repair. When it does that, the colonocytes are stimulated. Those are the cells that line the gut lining. They are stimulated. They start to regenerate and grow, and it helps to repair some of the gut lining tissue. Some of the bad, less beneficial bacteria start to get overtaken with the good and beneficial bacteria. The gut microbiome begins to balance itself when we are in a fasted state. Also, it affects our DNA and our genetic code. It activates anti-aging genes and it helps to improve our cellular resilience. Isn't that amazing? Our cells run everything in our body and we want them to be optimized. Fasting really helps that. One of the things that happens when in a fasted state is instead of burning sugar or glucose for fuel, we start to burn fat for fuel. Burning fat for fuel is what we call ketosis. We start to use up the stored fat, and that becomes our fuel source. Then when our body gets more and more used to using fat for fuel, then we have something called metabolic switching, and it really helps because ketones are a much more efficient fuel source than glucose. When we hit 12 hours, 12 to 24 hours, that's the magic number where glycogen, or the stored sugar in our muscles, starts to get depleted, and then our body begins to burn fat. Then when we go from 24 to 48 hours, so 1 to 2 days, ketones really become our fuel source. And that really helps to feed the brain, and it reduces hunger. We initially may have those hangry and flu-like symptoms, but after about 1 to 2 days, 24 to 48 hours, we start having less hunger and we have more energy. And now we are really singing. Then 48 hours or longer, that's when real deep autophagy occurs and stem cell production begins. As you can see, the longer we fast, the more benefit we have. I am excited to share this information, and I would really encourage you to stay tuned for the next video. We're going to talk about diet variation and how to move between diet, eating, and fasting, and what the benefits of that are. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.